Hey guys, welcome to my February 25th DVD update. Yes, I'm back. It's been just about a month, and I'm sorry for the delays. I've been sick, as many people have been around this time of the year. It's been pretty bad this year. I've had sinus infections and all that crap. But I'm back, and here with a whole ton of new DVDs to show, and here I go. The first one I got is the reissue, not really a reissue, but a re-release of the Back to the Future, the first movie. Now you may say, Sean, why did you buy this? Well, there was only one reason I bought this. The first disc is exactly the same as the one in the original set, but it comes with a new disc, a 2-disc version that's exclusive to this set, which is footage from the Back to the Future ride, which was torn down in both the Universal Studios Florida and California, and they turned it into a Simpsons ride, which I was on the Simpsons one. It's good. It has this real strange sort of 3D-ish to it. It's alright, but not really the greatest. The original Back to the Future ride was very cool, and what they did was they took the footage that you saw before you went onto the ride and the footage you watched while you were on the ride. It basically has Biff and Christopher Lloyd's character, Doc Brown, like introducing and everything. It's very, I liked it. It had this really cool VHS quality to it, and for once you could actually hear the stuff that was on this, because the stuff that they would play before you go on the ride, it was always so loud and people were like always talking, you could never hear any of it. So for once you can actually hear this stuff. It also has this like classic Back to the Future documentary talking about the second movie with Leslie Nielsen hosting. It's kind of a strange one, but it was definitely interesting, and it was left off the last version, as well as a documentary looking back at the first film, and they even talk about how Eric Stoltz was originally cast and he was a problem and they ended up firing him. That I don't know if we're ever going to see that footage of him, but if you have this already, if you want to get this exclusive stuff, I would definitely recommend getting it for that. The thing is, with the Blu-ray, because I know there's going to probably be a Blu-ray in the next year or two, they may or may not put that exclusive stuff on it, because, who knows. But I just definitely wanted to have that stuff. The next one I got, and I wasn't sure about this, and I did not like the trailer to it, is Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. This was actually a lot better than I thought. It's that Michael Cera from Superbad and Juno, and it's basically like about them out on this night, trying to find this just like hidden band. It kind of reminded me of Detroit Rock City slightly, and like 200 Cigarettes with all this stuff going on at the same night. It really was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I would check it out. I was definitely surprised that I liked it a lot more than I thought. The next ones are Blu-rays that are two of my favorite comedies that I definitely wanted to have on Blu-ray. And the first one is Mike Judge, Oblivion Office Space, which is finally, came out to Blu-ray. And I know there's no differences to these. I think this has like some exclusive games on it, but I don't really do any of that. But I've always liked this movie, and I know they just had the 10th anniversary of this. I saw something online with it, but I know they've always wanted to do a sequel to this, which I don't know if it would work or not. It's basically, if you haven't seen it, it's about these guys who are like working at this kind of like day job at this. It's like a dump. Like when they work with computers all day, putting in all this code, like the worst kind of job you can deal with. And the one character hates his job, goes into a hypnotist that puts him into this trance that's supposed to help him like his job. The hypnotist ends up dying before he ends up snapping his fingers, so he's stuck in this trance. So he basically, you don't know if it's really what does it or not, but he starts to really care less about this job and basically does everything he can to get fired. And it's definitely, I think it's one of the funniest things Mike Judd has done, and I'm really sad too to see King of the Hill is going, which, hopefully maybe it won't go, because they're doing it now in high def, but I don't know, I'm going to miss it. I know he's working on a new show now, which is looking interesting, but it would be interesting if he came back with another Office Space, but I don't know if it would work. The next one is another one that people want a sequel to, which they didn't do, and it's Napoleon Dynamite, which I would have liked to have seen it. I know they put the extended wedding scene on that just for that point, to not have to do a sequel. The director even said he didn't want to do it. That's why they put that. And, this is him at school. Everyone's seen Napoleon Dynamite. I always liked this movie. A lot of people don't. And a lot of people, it was also a very big trend movie. Like, if you remember, I saw this movie about 3 months before anyone else did, because they had these really early screenings, and I remember even being on the message boards for this, like talking all the time. It was like very strange. It was like, but then suddenly in about June, or I think it was maybe July, it became like the trend thing. I mean, it was all over the TV. Everyone was like referencing it, saying idiot and all that, and it became the biggest trend of all time. Like definitely, like I don't know, very quickly became the trend film. Hot Topic had all these things of it. Then suddenly, like in the last probably year or two, it's like whoop. Now no one ever speaks of it, and I like it though. The next one, I don't know why I wanted to get this. I mean, I don't know exactly what I was thinking. It was really cheap. It was like $8, and it's Night Tales, hosted by Flavor Flav. And I just wanted to see it because Rufio, you know, I always usually watch his stuff. The kid who played Rufio in Hook was in this. The never-aging guy. Like, you look at this guy, he's been playing a teenager since like 1991. What in the world is going on? It's like the Eric Christian Olsen, or whatever his name is, who was in Fired Up. It's like he was started doing college roles, now he's back to playing teens again. It's ridiculous. This guy has been a teenager since Hook in 91. And he was a teenager in But I'm a Cheerleader. He was a teenager in that dancing movie with Antonio Banderas. What is going on? Will he ever move into College Times? I mean, I don't know. But it's basically these two, like, it's like Tales from the Crypt, kind of Tales from the Hood kind of stuff. And it's these two stories. The first one's about these guys that rob a bank. I like the first one a little bit better. And then they end up running into these, like, weird hillbillies, and they end up going in their house trying to get on the phone, but they actually just want to rob their car to get away because their car breaks down on this getaway. It was alright. And the second one was this like weird clown, and people are dying in the house. The clown was Tony Todd, and Tony Todd did good for what this thing was. And I know they're apparently going to be turning this into a TV show, or they're hoping to, something like that. I mean, I guess it'd be interesting. I don't know. It's okay. Another one I got, which I really liked, is Henry Poole is Here. This was actually a very like sweet, good movie with you know, Luke Wilson, and it's his character is like I don't want to like ruin anything about it, but basically he moves into this house, sort of like not caring less about his life, and he goes outside, and a Mexican neighbor comes over to welcome him to the neighborhood. On the back of the house, she sees this image that looks like Jesus, that she thinks is Jesus, and then she starts like bringing all these people around to look at it, and slowly this guy's life is starting to get brightened up. I mean, I don't want to ruin anything about this, but it was definitely something you should check out. Another one that I got really cheap at Walmart, but it was very, very well done. Another one I got, which I didn't even open yet, and I saw this in theaters at the like $2 theater, the real cheap theater, because I missed it, and it wasn't bad. It's called College, and like originally they were trying to promote this as like Drake Bell, and I guess they realized that no one cares about Drake Bell, so they're just like College, and they put this weird logo on it to try and like, it's like, well, he's in it, but who cares? Like, they don't even really mention it. And it's alright. I know I found out the one guy was from like American Idol or something. I never watched, so I wouldn't have even known. It's about these kids that they're going touring a college. They're in high school and they're going touring a college, and the one brother was a fraternity member, so they party with the fraternity, and they screw around with them, and all this crazy stuff happens. It's basically like an Animal House. It has a real, definite 80s like college movie feel to it, and I liked it. A lot of people didn't like it. A lot of critics didn't like it. It really wasn't very bad. This one I didn't get to watch yet. Probably end up watching it tonight. Is Choke, which my dad saw when we were in Comic-Con way early, and he said he thought they cut it down when they came back out, because he saw it twice, so I don't know. But he said it was very good. Now, you're going to notice with these DVDs, something's going on now, and I noticed this last week. The DVDs now are like this. They have this recycling symbol, and you take it out, and behind it is this. So it's like this recycling thing. So I guess they're assuming, like, in like 50 or 60 years or something, all these DVDs are going to be in the dump. I mean, I don't know about all of you, but my DVDs are not going to be in the dump, and they're not going to be recycled. So, I mean, I'm all fine, you know, I'm fine with recycling. But, like, don't put this kind of stuff in DVDs. I'm not recycling this. You know, it's kind of ridiculous. The next one I got is a Blu-ray, and I didn't get to watch the Blu-ray, but I saw this on FairNet, and this movie really got duked on. I mean, I feel really bad for Clive Barker with this movie. And I mean, it really did not get it seen at all. It went to like the $2 and $1, the cheapest theaters. It got hardly anyone saw this, so they premiered it on FearNet and pretty much called it the official premiere. And I was worried for a while it was never even going to come out to DVD. They were talking about just digital downloads or something. But it's The Midnight Meat Train, which was in the Clive Barker short stories book, which was one of the few stories I remember reading. I think I read it like in middle school for an assignment or something. This is a movie about this guy who's a photographer, and he's trying to get a show, and Brooke Shields is like the art dealer. She doesn't like anything he does. One night, though, he's like going home from the subway, and this one girl is being assaulted and being robbed, and he starts taking pictures of it. And then Brooke Shields sees that picture, and it's like, that's great, I want more things like that. And it turns out that same girl that was assaulted was killed the very next day by this character that he noticed this, like after she left, the assaulted woman, he saw this character go, as this Vinnie Jones, go into the train behind her. He thought nothing of it and then went home. And he's realized that this guy killed her. So he's basically following him around, taking pictures of him murdering people. And it's, I don't know, I liked it. It got, a lot of people said it wasn't the greatest thing. It has a little bit of some CGI gore that I didn't like that much. But I really liked this movie. There were some very cool images of him working at the meat packing plant, which was very, very cool stuff. I mean, I really liked this. I would definitely recommend checking this out. And I wanted to get the Blu-ray version because that's the version I saw on TV. But I would definitely recommend it. Now this thing, I don't know anything about it. It came free with the Nick and Nora one. It's called Whatever It Takes. I don't know anything. I know nothing. And the next one I got is Feast 3 from Dimension Extremes. And it basically picks up right after Feast 2. And I really like the Feast movies, but the first Feast is the best one. I mean, that was great in the bar. It had a good cast. A lot of the good cast died off, so they couldn't bring them back. This one, though, picks up right after the last one. It basically even flashes back to a lot of it. This one was a lot better than the second one, I thought, because the second one, they had a lot of scenes on the roof that used a lot of this really bad green screen, blue screen work. That was, you could really tell it was digital, added to the background. I didn't care for that much. This one, though, avoids all that. It has a few scenes of this pretty bad gore, this CGI gore, which I wouldn't expect him to be using stuff like that. I mean, I guess like maybe they didn't have the time to do it on the set, because I could really tell this was shot really fast. Like, probably like a week or two, 2 weeks maybe. This was a quick shoot, you could really tell. But it's basically them trying to get away out of the city, so they're going through the tunnels trying to get away. And it was very, I mean, I enjoyed it. It had new characters. It had like these, like if the character would throw up on people, they'd become like these zombies that were crazy. The only thing I didn't like in it was they had this one scene when they went into like this rave area and the lights kept flashing. It was that strobe effect and went on for like 10 minutes. It was really overdone and it was like making me slightly sick. It was like, enough of that. You know what I mean? It was like, oof. If anyone has seizures, they're like, definitely fast forward that scene. But the movie was a decent movie though. It was very short. It was only like an hour and 17 minutes. So they technically probably could have put 2 and 3 together. But I would recommend watching it though if you like the other ones. This one I didn't get to watch. I started watching it like 3 times and then ended up turning it off. But I will eventually watch this. It's called Killer Movie. Another one I got at Walmart for like $8. You can find a lot of very weird horror movies at Walmart, in like the bigger ones, the superstores that Best Buy and them never get. And a lot of these titles are like $29.99, $25.99 online. They have them for like $8 or $9. The next one I got is the Julianne Moore, Mark Ruffalo, Danny Glover film Blindness, which I saw this in theaters. This is a very well done. It's basically a movie about everyone starts going blind. Like people suddenly like that, people going blind, and they start taking the blind people because they believe it's contagious and putting them into these buildings, sealing them off, like putting food, like giving them food. They would like push it onto things and stuff so they didn't get in contact with them. But slowly everyone in the world is going blind, and the only person who's not is Julianne Moore's character. And the end is great. Like, there's some scenes that are very 28 Days Later-ish that are amazing. This was people like that. It didn't do well in theaters. I don't think it was promoted well. The trailer was a little different than the movie was. This movie was phenomenal, though. I really like this. I mean, it was one of the best pictures, definitely, of 2008. I mean, words can't describe how much I like this movie. I would definitely check that one out. And we're back. The next one was a pretty poor set. I did not enjoy these. It's the second volume of the Rare Flicks films, and these ones were so bad. The first volume was pretty good because it had the one about the model that was killed that was good. This set was really bad. This one, Run Like Hell, with Robert Zadar from Maniac Cop. Oh my God, this thing was like one of the worst things I've ever seen in my entire life. And I love shot-on-video movies. This was like a shot-on-super VHS movie about this like women's prison thing. The women got away, but it was like filmed so bad and cheap and not good. It was like this ninja in it, and he had like the worst ninja costume I'd ever seen in my life. And the ninja hood that he had was just like this snow hood. This was so bad. Like, and there was not even the music could save this. It was just, ugh. This other one I tried to watch, this Molly and the Ghost, was bad. I turned them off. These were not good. I would definitely avoid this set. Volume 1 was good, but this set was not good. Next one I got is on a screener disc, and it's from Fox. It's How to Lose Friends and Alienate People. This movie was what with stars I always forget his name. The one in Run Fat Boy Run, and and Shaun of the Dead. It was Simon Pegg. Forgot for a second. This is a movie about his whole dream in life is he wants to be. Simon Pegg's character wants to be in Hollywood. He wants to like be around the stars and everything, and he ends up getting this job at this paper. It's kind of like the Inquirer, where he gets to interview people. It's basically showing how he got in with the stars. And Kristen Dunst was in it. This was a funny movie. It was a little long. It was like 2 hours and something. Some parts in this were really boring in a bad way. It was alright. Definitely not the greatest. The next one I was really excited about. And then I wouldn't have even known this unless I read it on IMDb that the music was changed. It's Tales from the Dark Side. I was really upset that the music was changed. Like, I mean, the thing is, it's like, I don't know what the music they use. Like, I'm wondering where it came from. Like, I don't even know if it's, like, 80s music or if it's, like, new music. Like, if it is new music, it won't be right. But I watched them. I didn't really notice anything was until I read it. But I did. The time that I did notice something was up, though, was when I watched the episode that Tom Savini directed that was, I don't remember, Inside the Closet, which was about a monster that was living in the closet. And I was noticing the music, and it was great. I was like, this is amazing, like, great synth. And then I was like, I read, and that was one of the few episodes that wasn't changed. Basically what this is it's an anthology show. It's not like Tales from the Crypt where there's, like, a host. The episodes just start. But there were some very good episodes in this, though. The episode, the anniversary dinner, when the couple want to have this girl come in the house, or they want to cook in the hot tub. That was a really good episode. But I would definitely get this series. Hopefully, next time they won't have to change the music. I always hate when that has to happen. Like, Malcolm in the Middle can't come out because they can't get the music rights. I mean, I guess for that show they're going to have to change it because it's going to cost so much money. I mean, I understand that they have to do it, but it's just a shame, you know. I have DVDs I got from, like, Comic-Con of all the series, so I can watch it that way, the worst case. The next one I got was one that I was waiting for a sequel to since I first saw the movie like 10 years ago. And I always wondered if they would do something, but I didn't know how. And they made a direct-to-DVD sequel, which I guess was made for like the Sci-Fi Channel, which I know is getting really bad reviews online. I kind of liked it, though. And it's The Screamers, The Hunting, which is basically The Screamers 2. And the movie, it starts off with these people on like the same planet as the first one. It looks different. There's like snow. The first one wasn't. I don't know if the first one had snow or not. I haven't seen it in so long. But they're on this planet, and they're being chased by the Screamers, and the guy ends up going inside of like one of the bunkers and pushing the distress call, which calls like these rescue mission to come back to the planet, which they thought was everyone was dead on, because no one's been back there for 10 years. So they end up going back there, and then they end up running into the Screamers. And it's basically all it was. It was basically them going back. But Lance Henriksen is in this for about maybe 10 to 15 minutes. He was very good in it. And the one thing I was surprised with in this was there was some bad CGI, of course. Yeah, you can't get away from that. But there were some really good practical effects, like some of the best I've seen in quite a while in a horror movie. There was like some of the scenes with the mouthpieces and some of the gore effects were very surprisingly well done. And I would definitely, if you like the original one, you can find this for a decent price. I would check this out. I liked it. It was cheesy, but I mean, I really liked the original, so I just sort of looked away from all that. The next one is another direct-to-DVD sequel, which I think was originally intended to come to theaters, and it just didn't end up happening. And it's still waiting. And they basically got most of the cast from the original come back in very small cameos, like 2 or 3 minute things, definitely day shoots. Andy Milonakis came back. Anna Faris didn't. But like that Louis Gozman did, it was all right. It was basically it's not the same restaurant. It's like another restaurant. Then next door, the one guy who was afraid to pee in the bathroom opens up this like Hooters type place, and the main restaurant's in trouble, like losing money, and they have to make all this money. It's all right. I mean, I kind of liked it. Same time, I didn't. The original was a lot better. I was never the biggest fan of the original. It was good. I mean, I don't know. There's not a lot to say about that. This one, I thought was pretty good. I didn't enjoy it that much. I mainly got it because Keith from 6 Feet Under, that's not his name, I never remember his name, was in this. And it's called Alien Raiders, and it's about this supermarket where like you think it's going to be a robbery, and then it's these people in there checking for aliens. Like this people, they believe that this alien tribe thing is all in there, and the main queen is in there, so they have to kill them. And they basically like hold up the place trying to find them. It's all right. I thought it was a little bit boring and not the greatest, and a little dark. It's like a little bit like the Funhouse. It was hard to see a lot of the movie. I don't know. A lot of people really like this. I didn't care too much for this. I don't know. I don't know. I did not like it that much. The next one was one I was sent, and it's Madagascar 2: Escape to Africa. I mean, I liked the first movie of this. I didn't care for this one as much. It's all right. It's about basically the Ben Stiller character was taken from Africa to the zoo. And it's basically him unknowingly getting back to Africa because he leaves the first island on the plane, and he ends up running into his father, which is played by Bernie Mac. It's all right. I mean, I'm sometimes I get upset with these CGI animated movies. I really start to miss hand-drawn things. I mean, and the thing is, I don't think it's going to come back. I like clay animation. I thought Coraline was very well done. People haven't seen that. That was good. I always wonder, too, like what movies like this would be in clay. But it takes so long that no one's going to put time into doing it. The next one I got for very cheap at Walmart. They were having a couple of the Lionsgate titles for, I believe, $10. And I got Total Recall. And I haven't watched this again in a long time. I remember it's him going to the planet. I can't remember the whole plot to it. Another one I got was Zack and Mirror, and if you notice, it was kind of upsetting at Walmart, and I just got it because I noticed that all the features were the same, but the title just says Zack and Mirror. They make a porno off, and apparently the tagline's different on the back as well. But all the features are the same, and I like this movie. It wasn't my favorite Kevin Smith movie. It's Seth Rogen and Elizabeth Banks, and they can't pay the rent at their apartment, so they get the idea to make a porn film to sell and make a lot of money so they don't have to work. And it was pretty funny. I don't know, it wasn't as good as some of the other Kevin Smith movies. I really liked the one he did, Jersey Girl, which a lot of people didn't. It was different for him, but it was a good movie. And I think his best movie for writing is Chasing Amy. And the last one I got because the director lives right around here in Maryland, and I really wanted to see this. And I found out that the one story in this was shot in the old theater I used to go to as a kid, and I saw like Ghostbusters 2, I saw The Chipmunk Adventure, I saw a lot of movies at that theater. I think I might have even seen Pee-wee when they brought it back. And it's Dead Teenagers, and it's from Brain Damage Films. It's basically like three or four short horror stories. And the one in the theaters I like the best. It's basically one's about this old woman in this house. The other one's about these teenagers at the theater. I don't remember the other two ones, but the theater one was pretty cool. It was about this vampire that they were seeing at the theater. I don't know. It was a really cool theater, and it was like those real '80s theaters. You don't see it all anymore. It was one that only had like 2 screens, and all those have been pretty much torn down and gone now. But so that was the update. I didn't show the DVDs I got today because I haven't gotten to watch them yet. So those will be in the next update, which will probably be in 2 or 3 weeks. So sorry again for taking so long with this. And thanks again for watching and for subscribing. And I'll see you all later.